Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Environmental Facilities Corp. Annual Meeting of the Governance Committee, today, May 11th, 2024. Sorry, I just noticed a quick little change on something. Madam Secretary, could we have I'm calling this meeting to order. Could we have the roll call, please?
Of course. Chair DeMarchi,
Here.
Director Corcoran,
Here.
Director Zarowski.
I'm here.
We have a quorum, and I note for the record that Director Krasansky cannot join us today.
Okay, well, let's get started. Our first order of business is to approve the draft minutes from last year's meeting on June 13th, 2023.
Director DeMarchi, are you sure?
I think I have the wrong thing in front of me that was sent to me, to be honest with you.
Should be. Yeah, okay. So it should be.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see, so it should be this one.
Mhm. Yeah, this is one I printed out, so
Here.
I know. Yeah. That's okay. They're generally similar, so we'll go with it. Okay. Approval of the draft minutes from the May 11th, 2023 meeting. Could I have a motion for approval of the minutes, please?
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any comments? Any discussion? Hearing none, the draft minutes are approved. Okay, now we move into what is required every year to look at, review, and approve a number of our governance documents that we have. I know that everyone on the board and others have reviewed them. So with that, we will move to what I like to do first, if I may, just to get us started and in the mood, is just read the mission statement for the organization. And it is on the authority, it is later in the agenda, but I like to just kick it off. So if anyone wants to read it aloud with me, that's fine, but I will read it. The mission of the Environmental Facilities Corporation is to assist communities throughout New York State to undertake critical water infrastructure projects by providing access to low-cost capital, grants, and expert technical assistance by all of you sitting here. A primary goal is to ensure that these projects remain affordable while safeguarding essential water resources. We support this mission by consistently using an innovative approach to developing and advancing new financing strategies to maximize the funding that can be made available to our clients, aiding compliance with federal and state requirements, and promoting green infrastructure practices. And that is really a really long mission statement, and it includes the work of every single person in this organization, as well as the board and the communities to pitch in to achieve this mission. So with that kickoff, we will start with review of our bylaws. There are no changes in the bylaws, but we are required to just quickly review them. Again, it's section 1, reviews the corporation and its structure. Familiarize yourself with that. Article 2 is about the board of directors and what our responsibilities are and each person on it. We have our officers, employee and consultants, indemnification, Article 3. Article 4 sets forth all of our meetings, which we do, which this is one of them. Tells us everything that has to do with our meetings. Article 5, our committees. Here we are. We have two committee meetings today. And then corporate finances, amendments, and article suspension of bylaws. So with that, I think we have reviewed them. Could I have a motion to recommend the readoption of the bylaws as written by the full board during our board meeting?
Madam Chair, I would make the recommendation that we recommend to the full board as written the bylaws.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And we will make that recommendation during our meeting. Number 2, we have our governance committee charter, which we are here now. Again, requires that we give it a quick review. Please note, the governance committee is appointed by the board to assist the board, lays out what it's there, what our membership is, what our meetings do. If you would look on page 2, I just want you to see the committee authority and responsibilities. Many of these responsibilities are being executed today here at this meeting. If you look down 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? It's review of all these things. And it says review annually the mission statement, so you can cross that one off, right? There we go. So a lot of our responsibilities on the governance committee are laid out here. Number 2, governance committee shall develop and regularly review and update as necessary written policies. I just want to say thank you to everyone that participates in doing the updates and keeping me informed throughout the year as to what might need updates. And over the past number of years, we've done an amazing job at keeping these fresh, updating what we need to update. So just a quick thank you on that, because that helps us fulfill number 2 as well. So just, I feel that we've reviewed them. Madam Secretary, could you just add at the bottom on page 3, we used to have a note that says when they were last adopted, just so that we know that it was fresh and reversed. I didn't see it on this version. All right, so with that, I would like to make a motion to readopt the governance committee charter by the full board. Could I have a motion? You guys have to take turns.
That's what I was
So
waiting
moved.
for Adam.
Fine,
Second.
so moved. I don't want, I don't want to get in front.
And a second.
Second, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment on our governance committee charter? Perfect. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we shall make that recommendation to the full committee. Thank you. Okay, next is review of the documents procurement contract guidelines. There are some amendments proposed, and Maureen, you're gonna could I have a motion? I think I need to do a motion first, right? Yes. Can I call for a motion to recommend the approval of the procurement contract guidelines, which will be presented for approval by the full board upon presentation of ID number 2 on the full board meeting agenda?
So
Thank
moved,
you,
Madam Chair.
Francis.
I'll second.
Oh, it's tough. You're
We
gonna
got
have to
the-
keep
we got
track
the
of
ping
who's
pong
who
going.
on that. Thank you. And with that, we'll have discussion and presentation.
Thank you. As you know and are familiar every year, EFC is required by provisions of the Public Authorities Law, Section 2879, to adopt and annually review our procurement contract guidelines. These guidelines are developed under guidance from the New York State Procurement Council, OSC's State Authority Contract Manual, Public Authorities Law, Executive Law, State Finance Law, and other state regulations. The only change this year is as a result of an amendment to State Finance Law, Section 163, that was signed into law on March 22nd, 2024, increases the discretionary spending limit without a formal competitive procurement process for MWBs and SDVOBs from 500,000 to 750,000. And that's the only significant change this year.
Well, thank you for keeping that updated.
And thanks to Henrik and his legal staff.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions on that? All right, hearing none, she'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our motion passes to make that recommendation to the full committee. All right, now we move into a pretty party section. We have the fundamental policies and procedures. we will be reviewing just a few of these. But first, we are going to actually review the code of ethics, of ethical conduct. It does require that we actually look at it. There are no changes proposed for this, but if you could all just look at our ethical standards on there, this applies to all board members, officers, and employees of EFC. It goes through our ethical standards for outside activities, regarding conflicts of interest, and then we have executive orders as well that always are updated and refreshed each year, as you can see from those. And so that's all I have to review on that. Our next document that we're going to review is workplace violence prevention policy with some proposed amendments. And Maureen, you're on for that as well.
These are very, very minor changes. Title changes, phone numbers, some formatting, nothing substantive. That's all.
Okay. All right. Also in our fundamental policies and procedures, we have the Family and Medical Leave Act, the Federal Drug-Free Workplace Act, the proposed amendments that we just discussed, outside activities, policy and procedures. We just talked about that, time and attendance, whistleblower protection, and workplace violence and prevention. I feel like there should have been a motion associated with these alone, no?
And we can call for the motion after the full review to recommend the approval. That's acceptable.
Okay, because next I move into qualifications of appointed board members. Just want to get there.
There's a bunch of mandated statewide policies too, which they're mandated, so they're in here for review.
So would you like me to review
And then,
that?
no, and then Kate, do we need to do,
They're in as a point of reference. Everything
Okay.
falls within
The
the
fundamental
review of
policy.
documents pursuant to the committee's authority. That includes the procurement contract guidelines, but we had to
Okay.
make a
Okay.
separate motion for that one for the recommendation to the board. And
Okay.
after review of the board performance report, the defense and indemnification clause and all.
Okay. She'll make the one motion.
Will be on that.
Just do the one for that then? Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Then we move to qualifications of appointed board members. Our qualifications haven't changed over the years, although each of us have gotten older. I don't know how that happens. I feel like they should have gotten older too. But I think that after all of the years of looking at our qualifications, we have been able over the years to really be able to execute on that. I'm just going to read them. And I think between all of us, we do cover them. There are 8 of them on there with specific subject areas. I'm not going to read them. I'm sorry. There's 8 of them there. I just wanted you to look after. Next, we're going to look at the compiled results of the board performance evaluation, and in accordance with the ABO policy guidance 10-05 from October 26, 2010, ABO consulted with the Committee on Open Governance, which advised that a board discussion of its performance would constitute a matter made confidential by state, therefore could be conducted in private. I would like to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the board performance evaluation.
I'll
You
make a
gotta
motion,
take
Madam Chair.
turns. Okay. And a second?
I'll second. I didn't,
All righty. All in favor? Aye, we shall enter into executive session.
The public meeting will resume afterwards.
Okay, we are back from executive session and there was no formal action taken, including but not limited to the appropriation of public monies. So with that, we will resume our agenda items. Next up is a review of the defense and indemnification of officers and employees of public entities. There are no updates to this, but we do need to review it. And mark one thing on there. But I'm assuming everyone has taken a look, refreshed themselves on that. Hopefully, we never have to really refer to it. All right, and so with that, I will call for a motion to recommend approval by the full board of the policies and other required documents developed in connection with the governance committee authority and responsibilities, including the updates to the documents that we discussed. Could I have a motion
I'll make a motion as read, Madam Chair.
and a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on any of the documents that we've received? Any questions? Hearing no further need for discussion. All those in favor? Recommendations? Aye. And with that, we approve the documents for recommendation. Thank you. All right, and we are nearing the end. And again, next is our annual review of the corporate mission statement and performance measurements. Can I call for a motion to recommend readoption of the mission statement and performance goal listed in the mission statement by the full board?
So moved.
Second,
All right, let's have a little discussion. We did read the mission statement before. It is a great mission statement. It has gotten longer over the years because it's really does pinpoint what we do, and everyone should take pride on that. There are our list of performance goals as well listed there, and so please review them. Is there any other further discussion on our mission and performance measurements? All right. Maureen, were you gonna present something?
I was going to, after I was gonna do the program metrics, but I was looking at these 5 performance goals and looking at them, and we don't just kind of make them up and put them out there. Is that if you go through each one, we can talk about things, and which is what the
Implement creative financial solutions for recipients with diverse demographic profiles to address water quality and public health needs.
Yep, and we are continually looking at how can we help folks that maybe aren't coming in or are coming in, but really aren't getting maybe the best solutions for them. And so we've made changes recently with respect to increasing on the clean water side, the WIA amount from 25 to 50% grant for those under 3,500 that are in disadvantaged communities. So that's in the current round that's out, that's open now, that I'll mention later. But so we've done that. And again, continually do that to try to hit folks in different areas or different demographics that we're not.
Well, the outreach program has expanded so
Yes, our
much.
technical assistance has really helped too.
It's been amazing how much over the years that we're out there and really queuing up those projects. Deliver distinct value through technical and programmatic expertise in various aspects of all financial projects.
Yep, and that's something we've always been really strong with, is getting folks, whenever they think they have a problem or they don't even yet, or they've called their legislator and said, we've got it, we get a team on, we talk from start to finish about kind of what the project might be, whether it's clean water or drinking water project, we'd like to get them in the door early. And now with our community assistance teams and going around, the states and having weekly Q&A call and our technical assistance team is, community assistance teams are just having so many events, and it's talked about in another document that we have, really getting out there
Yeah.
and helping folks out, both kind of technically how to get in the door, how to fill out an application, and then, programmatically about kind of what systems maybe they might need, and after they get in the door, how to get through the process.
Yeah.
So,
Well, helping them through the whole process.
right.
Let me ask you, as I read number 3, engage communities to maximize use of EFC funding to protect the environment and public health. That's
Same
what
thing.
just said, but I want to ask you, do you think that all of the community engagement that's going on, and I know many people are involved in it, has, really, I mean, we're already a motivated group of people, but don't you think it makes internal motivation as well to get engaged with the communities and really see the work in action? How do you see that internally motivating people as well, if I may ask?
I think it definitely does. And along with that, going out in the communities and giving them technical assistance, but also having, which we've talked about before,
A touch.
having staff go out to and visit the actual projects. So even if you're not on a program team, you might be in IT or, accounting or whatever. So you wouldn't normally be visiting a site as part of your, daily activities, but that going on these site visits gives everybody here an understanding of what it is we do. So that also is, motivating and going out and actually seeing projects. And it's really nice because you go out to the projects and the folks that are working on them like to show them off, so they're proud about the projects and thankful for the assistance they've gotten. So that's really good. But also going into the communities for the technical assistance, is also nice, and people really appreciate that. So. yeah.
Well, when I met with Mike Herrick and Maureen, thank you for that meeting, but you were talking about the site visits for the employees and how they foster an understanding to connecting to the mission. That's why I asked the question,
Yep.
so that you could expound on that. And I just want to say that, you told me that it's a formal thing. It isn't like, oh, just go out in the field, but that you have, where are you next week? So people
Right.
can join and talk about it and things like that. So you're basically really living the mission by being out there. So I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah, we want to connect things both internally and
Right.
externally from a
Exactly.
transparency standpoint. So identify that there was a site visit that's coming up next week, and these folks went. So a colleague runs into them in the hall and they can get some feedback as to, what they heard out in the field. So kind of internal transparency and external transparency to really show off what we're doing and
Right.
the work we're doing.
And those invitations are extended to everyone in the organization.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your position is.
And then, like you said, what's happening next week, that comes out every week. So it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Who's going where, what conference are we at, where are we presenting, who's doing site visits? So that everyone knows what everybody's up to and what EFC is doing generally. As well as really shooting to get more stuff transparency wise on the website too, and out publicly, with visits.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and the more like having any silos, not that we've had them, but understanding the whole life cycle of a funding of a project, right from, outreach to going from short-term to long-term, right? And getting that whole life cycle of that funding in there and everybody understanding it, I think makes us a much stronger organization.
Yeah, and it kind of goes to the
Yeah.
fifth one, which is organizational resiliency, right? Have folks learn from each other
Yeah.
and learn, the special acumen that folks in our engineering division have, and the finance folks can respect what they do and understand all the work that they have to do and vice versa. So it's.
right, and how we've worked a lot lately too about how does what you do in your division, which maybe you think it just impacts your division, how does it impact all the other divisions? So we've done a lot more of just not having, like you said, the silos, not just meetings with one division or two divisions, but always
Yeah.
think, wait a second, let's get all divisions involved because it's maybe not just yours or two.
Yeah.
It's everybody somehow will be impacted.
And it has a different perspective on
Right.
that impact,
Mhm.
comes in from an angle you might not have thought about in there.
Right.
Yeah. I'll just read the next one. Provide funding assistance to improve water quality and mitigate the effects of climate change through green infrastructure, energy efficiency, water efficiency, and environmental innovation, and enhance organizational resilience by embedding strong internal processes and quality review in our corporate strategies.
So
Like you said.
for the funding assistance, we went back for GIGP program to a couple of years ago to add the energy efficiency and water efficiency to get that out again under the federal grant program, GIGP. We currently have our Green Resiliency Grant Program open. That was a Governor's State of State initiative, and that's, green program resiliency, flooding to address climate change as well. So we always like to, we've got those specific grant programs, but we also like to encourage whenever possible that folks address resiliency, climate adaptation, and it's required that you look at that in your engineering report for every project. But that you incorporate those measures whenever you can in one of your projects. And then again, the organizational resiliency. We have a lot of folks that will be retiring in the next 5 years, plus a lot more work. So you'll be seeing at EFC, significant, staff additions to cover retirements and planning for,
Perpetuation.
yes, and then also more federal programs, more state programs. EFC keeps taking on more and more, so there'll be significant hiring continuing. We have, how many in the pipeline right now that'll be starting in the summer?
6.
Yes.
Excuse me, 6, and then
6
4
and
other
then-
current recruitments.
So you
Right.
tell me, 2 years ago, we had 96 head count. We now have 109. There, by the end of May, we'll have 118.
Mhm. Yeah, And we're all very,
Congratulations
you know,
on that. And
all very busy.
also, in
I mean,
the,
that's here, we've got DOH too, that's got their own hiring kind of problems,
But I-
issues trying to hire, but EFC, we can help DOH, plus we can hire a little easier.
well, let me share the comment I made on our call in prep was that, yes, we have more heads. We're not just hiring because everyone's busy, but I have observed that we're hiring to efficiency, right? We're building the efficiency. You're all building the efficiencies, and I just get to talk about that. Thank you for that. But the new programs come in, you put processes in place, you see where we need a person. It's not just like, everyone's so busy, just get more people on here. These are very specific specialist type positions. And that there are so many efficiencies going in. So it's not just like we're so busy, hire more people. These are in response to the programs and in response to the efficiencies. So I just want to commend everyone on that as well.
Yeah, and significant new staff too for IT, which I think we talked about is really needs to be kind of built up. All the programs as well. Finance, engineering, accounting, but also in our technical assistance, our community assistance teams too. Because the governor committed to expanding the community assistance initiative. It's a bit important to us too, so hiring new people for that as well. So, yeah.
Well, go.
And to bring them up to speed, we've got pretty robust lunch and learn program
Mhm.
where divisions talk about what they do. And they're full, every one of them.
Oh,
Folks
yeah,
sign
standing
up,
room only. It's great.
To learn about what, legal or engineering or corporate ops or finance, talk about certain aspects of what they're doing, and it really helps these new people onboarding to get a better sense of what's going on broadly around the corporation. So,
That's very cool.
yeah.
I also have a note here, project success dashboard under development.
You stole my phone.
No, I gave you an intro.
No, it's true. I was gonna bring that up in the president's report, but we are doing in response again to the governor's transparency initiative. At the beginning of the year, we committed to some things, and one was to be putting up a project dashboard. We're gonna call it Project Impact dashboard. And we will preview that for you at the next meeting in June. But it will look like we've got WIA awards posted on our website, and it'll say where they are and a description of the project. And also will look like that, and also what we do monthly at our board meetings too, where it have the location and some
Yeah.
information about the project.
Yeah.
So we will have that going back 3 years? 5 years. For all of the projects funded. So it's a lot of, will be a lot of information.
Right, Bill,
on there.
5? I didn't misspeak, did I?
Might be 4.
Well,
Or- Oh, I think
3
it's
to
from
5.
when I came back, so 21?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going forward,
They'll
we'll
go
do
forward,
it,
right.
it'll refresh on a 5-year
Yeah.
basis, and that's, how, because we'll fill the map up if we don't take some off,
Oh,
right?
right. It's crazy
Uh,
already.
So it'll be in 5-year increments where
Yeah.
projects will fall off.
Wow,
Yep.
that's a lot. That, I wanted to go back before I wanted to close with that one, but I did just want to just touch on cybersecurity, because I think it's important to just bring that up. I know that you're ramping up training, and situational training. That is all part of our loss control
Mhm.
program, right? And as a financial institution, we have to be really, really keen on that loss control. And that loss control starts with the individuals, first and foremost. So I was really glad that, that you're identifying the
Mhm.
vulnerabilities, ramping up training. Anything else you want to comment?
We have, we did a desktop,
Tabletop exercise.
tabletop, I'm like, that wasn't exactly the right word. Tabletop exercise with Division of Homeland Security. We're gonna have another follow-up
Risk assessment.
risk
that's coming
assessment
up in
is
the
coming up. We're doing phishing,
Quarterly phishing.
Oh, you are
Yep.
doing that fine? Okay, I'm
Quarterly,
really
yep.
glad about that.
Yep, we're doing that. And then, so we're doing a lot of that internally. And then also EPA is concerned, and we're looking at also wastewater and drinking water operators and their cybersecurity and issues like that. So both internally and with our systems, helping our recipients as well,
Well, because that's where it
because
starts.
that's where we find the weaknesses is that they get compromised, and that's how someone kind of gets into us. We've been lucky. Not completely lucky. We've done a lot to protect ourselves so that they don't get into our systems, but we need to be able to recognize phishing when someone gets in and a compromised email on the other side.
It all
So,
comes down to the people.
Yep,
And it is part of the IT investments. So
Yep.
some of the systems we've put in place have been working. So,
Right.
the folks in IT will get a red flag that,
Mm-hmm.
something is a phishing attempt or a malware attempt, and those programs are working and they're alerting us, so.
right. And folks in the agency are really good too. If they get something like, this looks familiar, because oftentimes a number of people will get from the same, entity, and they'll alert IT, and, an email will go out to everybody that this, if you see something from this.
Yeah. Is it easy? I haven't, not having access to the internals, is it easy to report a phish situation?
Yeah, you can send, we have a IT help desk email.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
just
where they
goes in.
usually
They
send
just
them
send them
to.
to
And
Yeah, and if it seems like, some seem a little bit, but more like, like it's happening right now, or kind of, I don't know. They seem a little more alerting. We get up and walk over and, and kind of alert folks. It's nice that we're all on one floor, because,
So when Maureen sends you an email and asks you to send money, you don't do it, right?
Not usually. I'll buy her a sandwich every now and then. She forgets her wallet.
Venmo.
Gift card?
Yeah.
Tell me some lunch money, yes. We all have
We
to
do
be
do
on
that.
that.
The important thing is we've really raised people's awareness of this, by testing them with the phishing. They're getting harder too.
Yeah.
They sure are.
Yeah, well, and our exercises are getting harder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you really gotta keep it top of mind.
But we do
and-
really well score-wise from dishes, or, our scores are high.
Awesome.
And there's an EPA cybersecurity committee
Yeah.
that I
Yes,
volunteered
that's
for.
true. Yep.
And
Yes,
Forgot about that.
it's wonderful because, there are a lot of different stakeholders. We're the only SRF, as part of that, but like to hear what the EPA is seeing out in the field and some of the operators has been, elucidating, really.
Yes. I
And
thought it
interesting
was-
that we're the only SRF participating because it was open to.
Yeah, to anyone, yeah.
Well, seriously, we're a financial institution. That's where the hits are.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the hits are. They're not at the library, they're at the banks.
Yep.
So
True,
that's
true.
where the hits are. I'm gonna leave your thunder because I bet you're gonna say about the bond act and personally. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
I know, I'm sorry
Okay.
to do that. Ending cybersecurity, it used to be that was like the side risk. And now it is the risk.
Yep.
It is a big risk. So I'm so glad to hear all that. And Henrik, in our meeting, you gave me this quote, under the radar and over the top. I don't have that in context. Could you please, I can't not put this in context because I looked at it again. I'm like, what was it about?
I like to say that EFC is small but mighty.
Yeah, I said that all the
We're not a large organization, but I think we punch well above our weight,
Mhm.
and the impact we have on communities is profound and meaningful.
And that
so,
includes DOH and
yeah, of course,
EFC. if
all
I
of
use
us, DOH. So
NDC.
And DC.
we don't always get
Yeah.
noted for the good
Right.
work that we do,
Yeah.
but
Well, you
Good
can note
stuff.
right here today, right, board members? Everyone is getting noted today for all of the good work that you do. I can see that my other notes might interfere with your, so
No,
I'm gonna
keep
leave it
going.
at that. No, I'm gonna leave it at that. We have sufficiently looked at our mission statement and performance measurements, and the performance measurement report is here. So, is there any other further discussion or anything that I missed that you want to highlight out of this? No, we have 6 minutes. so
I think we caught the high points, but as Maureen is gonna discuss later, the program metrics that were sent around last night really kind of, we encourage folks to look at that. That really drives home the actual impact of what we were doing. And we
a
hope it's
little
a good.
prettier than the
Yeah.
measurements before.
Yeah, it's a little more interesting to read and
Right, so that has actual dollars.
All over
since the
it.
Programs began for last year, then, what we've specifically accomplished with respect to linear feet and wells and meters and, yeah, so it's.
and that's
there.
really the big impact that Henrik was referencing.
Yeah, and I was gonna kind of go through, but we're, running out of time. So, yeah, so you've all got it and we can talk a little bit about it, a little at the board,
Okay,
board
that'd
meeting
be
if you
great.
want, but-
I just want to personally thank you for adding the metrics I had asked for.
I was, yeah, these are for
And
Vita.
I have been asking
And it's
for linear feet of pipe.
Last year, we started it last year, but it didn't make it, some of us were down in Mount Vernon and it kind of just,
And on behalf of
Got it.
Charlie, who's not here, thank you for the meters added in
Yes.
place. We may all know he is,
definitely.
that is his, and I'm the linear feet of pipe.
Yeah.
So, thank you for those. This is a great report and well done, and it will eat your printer up if you do print it at home.
Yeah,
Yeah, and again, we provided this electronically.
it's gonna be on the website.
This will be on the website, to show really the public and other stakeholders
And
the
there's,
good work. we
nothing in the way of transparency. There's nothing that we, show at the board or we talk about that we wouldn't put on the website. Maybe we forget about it or we don't do it. So if there's anything that you guys see or something that you think should be on the website, let us know. We're putting more stuff up and we're trying to think of more stuff to put up, but something may slip through the cracks.
I'll revisit the website. Thank you.
And
I'll
hopefully-
I'll take that away as I don't go
Yeah.
there frequently because you give me all the info, but I'll
And
take a
we,
look at that
and we
again.
always are trying to make it, kind of, we don't want to keep changing because people kind of learn what it is and then it's like, well, wait a second, what happened to, it was here, but making it easier to navigate. So if you look at the website and you think, oh, I couldn't find this, or something doesn't really make sense, let us know, because we definitely want to make it
Okay.
easy. Ours, we don't have a lot of stuff. DEC has tons of stuff and DOH, so it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
But ours should be easy to navigate since we don't have tons of stuff. So if it's not, We need to know that.
I don't know if I can, but as governance committee chair, I'm assigning a homework assignment or to just go back on the website. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't visited the website in a really long time. So
Yeah, I
I
think-
I
will-
hope you, yeah.
I will now.
I think it'll look
Improvements. It's
different
been-
and
yeah.
there's certainly been a lot of enhancements.
Yes.
Okay, and check out DOH's too,
Yeah.
because we recently reorganized.
Hi,
it.
Brian.
Because there
Will do.
is
Yeah.
so much
There
there,
is.
all of our environmental health pages have been somewhat modified to try to make it easier to find stuff.
Oh, good.
All right, we have a two-part homework assignment coming from the governance committee. We'll put that in the minutes. We'll make sure we did that next year. All right, with that then, we had a motion to recommend the mission statement and performance goals to the full board, and we had our first and second. So all those in favor? Aye. With that, it passes. We will make that recommendation. It's been a great meeting. And finally, again, I just want to thank everyone. You for your leadership, thank the board, and of course, every single person in leadership, employees at every level from the newbies coming in this year to the people who have been here a long time. Thank you so much for the great work
Here,
for New York State and for all of the people in it. It's such important work. With that, there is no further business. I call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second,
In favor?
aye.
This annual meeting is adjourned.
Right at noon. Good job.